Hello, everybody. It's Crabwell with the Political Vigilante streaming live. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a Political Vigilante live. It is Friday, August 21st. Today's episode, we will be doing a Government Secrets with Lee Camp and also some other hot, fresh segments in addition to answering your questions. What's up, Kevin Lee? What's up, Raymond Nicholas? What's up, Chemical Shed? Get Buckets, Joanna A. What's up? What's up? What's up? I cannot tweet this out, ladies and gentlemen, because I've been put in Twitter jail for telling John Podesta to hang himself because he's a creep pedophile. So if you guys could tweet it out, that'd be helpful. What's up, Trisha? What's up, Ryan? What's Gucci Mane? Huge mic stand. Yeah, suck it. Whoa, that's creepy. 49 people watching. Not much, just watching our society, Paul Bart. You know, the American dream. I would, but mental health made me leave Twitter. I get it. Ladies and gentlemen. It's the Political Vigilante. Watching live on YouTube and then listening the audio podcast. I'm taking the audio from all these live streams and dropping them as the Political Vigilante podcast, which is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. So please start downloading. It's another great way to support the show. If we can build up, the download numbers of the audio podcast. So here's what I'm going to start doing since I'm going live like 5 days a week. I'm going to take the audio from it and release it as a podcast about 3 days after I go live. If you are a $5 Patreon member or you are a Rockfin subscriber, you will get the audio first. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I see Lee Camp sliding on into the StreamYard studio. Let's bring him in here live. Yes, I am on iTunes, and Government Secrets is on iTunes as well, folks. Lee.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
What's up? You know what? I'm impressed with your punctuality for being 5 minutes late. It's kind of amazing. You're 5 minutes late every week, which is like, but like on the dot, which on is the like, dot. You'd think you'd start 5 minutes earlier, but nope.
Nope. I won't do that. I physically can't do it. I don't know what that is. There's like I wasn't like held up. I don't know what it is. There's this just like.
Is it like the fashionably late thing? You want to be like, you know what? I'm too cool for this for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's just fine. I'm too cool for 5 minutes. 6 minutes is too much. 6 minutes, you're being a dick. 4 minutes, you're like, you're trying too hard. 5 is the sweet spot.
Exactly.
It's yeah, hit the like button, everybody. This is Government Secret.
It's interesting. Graham even chooses to have someone on to insult him every week, but it's, you know, it shows how brave he is.
Well, that's why actually I take that 5 minutes because I'm like, oh God, here it comes. You know, I need 5 minutes to just stretch out and do yoga and get it ready.
Not have Lee's nonsense spouted at me.
Oh God, I got to delay Lee's nonsense. I live at the beach. I'm not on real time. Lee's going to be all like, I'm on East Coast.
The way I always picture it is when I text you at 7 p.m. Eastern, I guess 4 p.m. for you. When I text you every week at 7 or 4 and I'm like, hey, so we doing this? I picture you like knee deep in the water with your board being like, yep, 5 minutes. And you're like sprinting towards your house or apartment or whatever.
Like every week I forget. And I'm like, oh, great surf session. Oh shit. Yeah, give me 5 minutes. Like that's
Drying off the hair.
just like I'm literally just putting my surfboard away as I hit go live. Hey, buddy. Like every week I'm like, oh God, we're doing this again? Oh, that's right. That's right.
And I'm always like, why are his eyebrows always so wet?
Even through the microphone, he smells like the ocean. It's weird. It's just, yeah. Well, now I'm never going to be on time. Now there's no way.
Now it's a thing. Yeah.
No, it's got to be a thing. It's got. Oh, folks. Before we get into the Gov Seeks, just please hit the like button and share this on your Twitter. I got put in Twitter jail this morning because I told John Podesta to hang himself because he's a pedophile creep. So
not that you're wrong, but did you not think that might get you in Twitter jail?
No, I didn't. I didn't think it through. And they
heard of the rumors about saying hang yourself to people.
Yeah, I didn't think that through. I was like, oh, I just triggered okay, this is all right. But and there's no like appeal, like, but what if he's a pedophile? The Podesta emails, they don't have that feature on Twitter. You just can't say go hang yourself. So that's a good note to learn for all of us.
And you know what, folks, just know this. Graham is always learning. He's always taking stuff in every day.
Every day I want to get better, Lee. I want to educate myself. I want to get better. One of these weeks I might be only 4 minutes late. I don't know. Maybe I'll be 7. Maybe I'll make it worse.
Turns out burning that effigy of Donald Trump in front of the police station, it's frowned upon. Turns out.
Who knew? Who knew? Asking them to drone strike their own CIA headquarters. Somebody got mad at that. So I don't know what happened. All right. I think is it my turn to introduce it?
It's your turn to lead.
All right. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Government Secrets with Lee Camp and Graham Elwood, episode 7. Banned from Twitter for 12 hours.
I've always been impressed we were able to hire that announcer who does the opening.
He's great.
He's great. I think he's great.
He's always 5 minutes late. So it's really kind of, that's why I'm late, because he's late. I would be on time, but he's always like got to get his noises. Like it takes him time to warm. I don't know how he does it.
I heard he has to have a belly full of turkey gravy to do that noise. So that must be what it is.
I saw belly full of turkey gravy at Coachella in, I want to say 2013. Oh, unbelievable. I was microdosing.
Did you see them though after gravy overdosed? So they were just belly full of turkey. Yeah, it was never the same. No. Never the same.
It was just belly full of turkey. It was like really, it was weird. And I tried. I really wanted to, but I gave it a chance. I gave it a chance. I gave belly full of turkey a chance, but I was like, gravy made the band. Yeah. I mean, when the keyboardist started his own thing, and that I was more down with, because that was just separate, but it just
that was colon full of cheesecake, wasn't
it? Which was a completely different sound. Colon full of cheesecake.
But at least he was going his own way, at least.
Well, yeah, because it was like we all wanted it to be with gravy, and it wasn't. So like when you went to colon full of cheesecake, you're just like, this is a new thing with an artist I like, and so you were more. I think we were all more open. We just so wanted.
And then they did that reunion. It was like cheesecake, turkey gravy, and I don't know.
Reunion shows are always tough.
They're always tough.
They're always tough. Like a couple years from now, when we do a Government Secrets reunion tour, it's going to be really tough.
I want to hear from the people who tuned in like 1 minute ago.
Yeah, they're going to be like, what is this? This is really
we're like, what the fuck? Is this a new WikiLeaks? I got to look this up.
Turkey gravy, 10,000 document dump. I had a 10,000 document dump this morning. I felt pretty good about myself. Leecamp.com, ladies and gentlemen, for some colon humor. All right. So
should we do like 5 minutes on the convention of love and hope from this week?
You mean the convention that brought on a bunch of Republican warmongers? Is that the convention you're talking about?
Yeah, I know. That was their way of selling themselves to America. They were like, listen, America, if you're not into us, if we're not war criminal enough, we have Republicans for you. So
look,
there you go.
It's the insanity. It's like when the right wing, when Obama was in office, and like, he could have come up with a cure for cancer and they would have been mad about it, right? Like, just this is the problem with the bipartisan country, is that there's these two sides. And if Trump, like, they're mad at him because he hasn't increased the number of countries that we're bombing. Like, that's literally what they're mad at. Like, when Bush was in office, end the wars, Obama ran on ending the war in Iraq and Afghanistan. That's what he ran on. That's why I and many others voted for him, was he was going to end these wars. And when he took us from 2 to 7, nobody cared. And then when Trump even said, just said it, we've talked about it before in the show, anytime he hints at ending a war, something crazy happens. When he's like, I think I'm going to pull us out of Syria, then all of a sudden people, like liberals, are like, oh, he's going to destabilize the region.
Yeah, there's a million reasons to hate Trump. And, I agree with most of them. But the actual reason that they want him out in a way they've never wanted a president out before, like they talk about how Obama coming forward and giving that speech where he's like, hey, the current president in office is dangerous, is incredibly rare. That's not how this system normally works. That's not what we've seen in the past from a former president. But the real reason that happened, the reason they're doing this in a way they never have before, is because of like that when he said he was going to create peace with North Korea, or the fact that even though he's put far more sanctions on Russia than Obama did, that's not belligerent enough towards Russia. So the real reason they want him out, and the establishment, definitely outside of Trump, the establishment desperately wants him out, is for those reasons. Now, the other reasons that they tell us, that he is a fascist and a racist and all those things, are true, but those are not the things that really made them draw the line.
Yeah. Oh no, it's look, if you get rid of these boogeymen, North Korea and Russia, then what? Like, they can't have that. Like, we really, like, it's unbelievable. Like, but North Korea has tried to back channel peace with 2 or 3 presidents. I think now they've tried to back channel peace, and we were like, we won't do it because they're starving. Their country is starving. If we went to them, Kim Jong-un is crazy. Yeah, of course. And the Saudi royal family, they're a bunch of stable, nice people that chop up journalists and treat women like dogs. Like, those folks we're okay with because they buy our weapons and they give us their oil. Like, it doesn't hold any water. And it's like, don't you want, when Trump, like a year or 2 ago, went to Russia, and everyone's like, he's just giving, it's all hand jobs in the Kremlin, or whatever they were saying, I was like, there's so much about Trump I don't like. There's stuff about Putin I can't say I'm a huge fan of. But when the two countries that can destroy life on planet Earth in an atomic war are talking peace, I'm okay with that. Do you want to blow Russia up and end life on planet Earth just to say, see, like, I don't get it.
Right. It's like, there are so many disgusting leaders around the world, and we meet with most of them. And when we meet with or are friends with them, we give aid to 70% of dictatorships around this world. But when we meet them, that's a good thing. Even if we despise them, even if they are legitimately, which America has never done this, but even if we legitimately, at least not since maybe World War II, even if we legitimately wanted to stop a country because they were just harming their people, like legitimately wanted to do that, I would like for them to meet with that leader and try and come with some sort of diplomacy, some sort of effort to like, let's discuss what's going on here and stop it. So the idea that meeting with someone is like, oh my dear God, he met with someone is like so ridiculous. I mean, Obama met Putin. Hillary's been photographed with Putin. It's so fucking ridiculous that they're like, he talked to the guy. Like,
oh God, I mean, Bill Clinton was paid somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000 by a bank with ties to the Kremlin to speak there. Like, I mean, the Uranium One deal, like I can't even, everyone has met with world leaders. Like it's
Rex Tillerson, the former head of Exxon, got the gold star of whatever they call it, freedom or some shit from Russia. Like,
right.
This has been going, and that was not under Trump. That was way back under, I don't know, it was either Bush or Clinton or something. So this is nothing unusual for countries to like these are, I mean, and these are like capital. The reason they have been friendly with Russia until recently, until the past few years, is because these are capitalist countries agreeing with each other to have diplomacy. Like,
right.
The countries they truly in the past traditionally have hated and wanted and won't meet with them or anything are the socialist countries. So they're not going to meet with Fidel Castro or something.
Right.
Like, I know he's dead now, but my point is like the true ones that they're like, we won't even speak to them. It's just because they're socialist. It's because they house the homeless.
Yeah, and to that point, so we didn't have a problem. I mean, in 2012, Obama said. And a debate after Mitt Romney was like, Russia. And Obama said in a debate, the 1980s call that wanted foreign policy back.
Yep.
And like the Democrats were this like, oh, let go of that old 80s Reagan era scared of the Soviet Union.
I'd love to find the clip of, I believe it was Rachel Maddow and some of those others on MSNBC talking about Romney, who had said Russia was our greatest threat. And them just chuckling and going like, Russia? Sorry, it's not 1990 anymore.
Right.
Like, and in the like a moment they were told, hey, here's what we're doing, guys. Hey, it's all anti-Russia propaganda. Okay, did you get the memos? Print out enough copies so everyone knows we're doing the anti-Russia thing again. And within a fucking matter of weeks, it's all anti-Russian. It's like, what happened to that was the 1980s.
And like it's so maddening to watch. Back to the convention. So Colin Powell, who helped lie us in to this illegal war in Iraq, is now being heralded by the Democrat. It just shows you like the Democratic Party is now the Republican Party.
Right.
And
They're absolutely the traditional Republican Party is now the Democrat Party, and the Republican Party of Trump is whatever's right of the traditional Republican Party.
Yeah, just fascist greed, oligarchy, out of control capitalism with a tanning salon and cocaine. Like just insane, whatever crazy
Those are diet pills. How dare you?
My doctor says I need to go to a tanning salon after I molest somebody. So this is how we're going to conduct our business here. Was I eat Wendy's in the White House?
I picture Trump, because he's all anti-alcohol and cocaine and everything. I picture Trump just like someone walks in the office and he's just snorting lines of like the powdered bones of his victims. And he's like, it's not cocaine. All right. People who do drugs disgust me. This is the bones of my victims.
I'm not a weirdo. I just have a certain diet. This is doctor ordered bone snorting. That's what this is.
Doctor ordered victim bones.
So obviously, I mean, Hillary Clinton has spoken at the convention, like, and the Vote Any Blue Will Do crowd. I mean, America gets this government that they deserve. They get it. They deserve it. The Vote Any Blue Will Do crowd will not hold the Democratic Party accountable. They will not do it. And they're the problem. Like, how do you watch I mean, I barely could watch any of this convention. I literally had to watch clips. And even those I was like,
oh yeah, no, I only watched clips. And on Redacted Tonight, which is airing in a half an hour or something, I just covered like I just covered clips from them because I couldn't. I tried to, Marianne Williamson, who all of a sudden is spitting fire, because once you're out, you can you can begin spitting fire. She had the perfect line. She was like, because some other celebrity was like, "Isn't it great to see the DNC? It's so wholesome and there's just a lot of kindliness involved." And Marianne Williams is like, "No, it's garbage. It's like watching a 2-hour-long Marriott ad." And I was like, "Oh, that's perfect. It so is. It's just like, look, here's a black person saying something that means nothing."
It's and the thing is, like, Trump is so beatable on policy, on his failed policies, on his platforms. If you had like a lefty populist progressive, you could say, oh, he got rid of the pandemic task force 2 years ago. That's killing us. If we had free healthcare, we would be dealing with this pandemic better. If we had student debt forgiveness, rather than giving the $1.5 trillion, which is the exact amount of student debt forgiveness, instead he gave it tax breaks to his billionaire buddies. You could go on down the line, but all of those things are actually good for, the Democrats make money off of war and for-profit healthcare and, for-profit prisons and all that. So they can't call him out on the things that he's so beatable on.
Right. They also want Joe Biden, even if Joe Biden were to put forward some sort of new healthcare policy that is slightly better or something, they don't want to talk about that much because they're trying to be everything to everyone. So they want right wingers to think that Joe Biden speaks for them, and they want progressives to think that Joe Biden speaks for them, and so they're just saying nothing. I mean, even the slight things they've put on the platform or claim they were going to put on, they keep then taking it down off his website, and then someone notices and calls them on it, and then they put it back up for a day and then take it down again. I mean, like all these things, like he claimed he wasn't going to have any, cuts to save the safety net and everything, and then that was taken down off the site or whatever. Like they just keep. They don't want him to have any platform stances. They want him to just be the great mystery man that everyone can believe. Hey, just believe he's whatever you want him to be, because we fucking don't know what he is.
Well, and here's what they'll do. If he does get in the White House, he'll go, I saved Roe v. Wade. I saved Obamacare. And everyone will go, yay. And it's just
by showing up.
Just by showing up. It's like he won't do anything new that'll help. He won't. It's just like, and the economy will nosedive, and he will just give more stimulus money mainly to Wall Street because that's who put him in power. So,
and I will say this, Trump is an idiot criminal, and it would be fun to see him do some sort of perp walk at some point. Like, it'd be fun to see Steve Bannon go away if he ends up getting imprisoned for his latest con game where he got people to donate to self-fund building a wall at the southern border, which, it'd be fun to watch Bannon in jail. But I will say, if you fucking donate to build a wall like yourself at the southern around America, like, and it gets stolen from you, you fucking deserved it. All right.
I have as much sympathy for those people as I do for the people that paid for the Fire Festival. I've got the same level of like, oh, fucking prayers.
Oh my God. Steve Bannon and Ja Rule should run for president together. That'd be amazing.
That border wall is the Fire Festival.
Fire Festival of foreign policy.
Of foreign policy.
Trump is really the Fire Festival. Oh my God, Trump is a dumpster fire festival. That's what he is.
He really is. And you can get front row tickets for $10,000, and you don't have to wear a mask because you're not going to die from COVID. Herman Cain was just weak. He was a weak quitter.
Ben Carson or Herman Cain?
Oh, whatever. One of those guys died.
I think it was Ben Carson died.
Oh, Herman. Yeah, Ben Carson. I don't care. Some dummy died because he went to a rally without a mask. I don't care.
Well, one of the 3 black men Republicans who are dumb enough to be both not white and a Republican.
Right. It's like the thing I'm going to miss about the traditional conventions is with an in an arena with an audience is I loved for a whole week watching the Republican convention where the cameras would cut to the only 4 black people in the arena just so they just
it was just diamond and silk, and they just have them move from chair to chair so it looked like more than one of them.
And they'd find one guy up in the stand. Oh, see, look at the diversity of the Republican Party. It's like, oh boy, you guys. It's like when you watch a rom-com with an all-white cast and there's always a black extra at the wedding. You know what I mean? It's like that. Oh, it's black extra. Oh, okay, great. Thank you, black extra. White Hollywood has bequeathed you $60 a day for 3 days from. It's great. All right, well, let's get into
See, this is our problem, Graham, is we start talking on one topic and then we never move on. We need some sort of radio morning show buzzer that tells us it's next topic. Just next topic.
Traffic on the 9s or something like that. Like,
yeah.
All right. Well, I've got one that sort of relates to what we're talking to. You're gonna love it because it's Epstein related. But
oh, for the love of God. Okay.
Talking about how fantastic the Democratic Party is, and why when they take the moral high ground in the convention, right? They love taking the moral high ground. So then this just came out. Hillary Clinton gave State Department job to Ghislaine Maxwell's nephew. This just came out today. And so when they talk about it's funny when they're like, Trump is so corrupt. Yes, he is. So is the Republican Party. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. And then when you bring up the corruption to neoliberals, they go, yeah, but this is okay. Like Hillary Clinton.
Right. It's kind of like when someone was telling me about lesser of two evils today. And I was like, but can we at least agree that it's insane that we're choosing between 2 racist war criminals? Like,
yeah.
And they're like, well, the Democrats' war crimes were cuter.
I've always said this, and I think everyone in the Middle East will agree. They enjoyed the drones from Obama and Biden so much more.
Well, they were multiracial.
Well, they had rainbow flags on them. So they'd see them come and they go, oh, yay, diversity. And they come, boom, 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 everything would blow up. And they'd go, thank you. It was fantastic.
They had a I'm a trans ally written on the front. So that counts for something.
Yeah, or I'm with her or something. It's really I'm woke.
The front said women of the future, I'm pretty sure.
I'm with her. So yeah, Hillary gifted Maxwell's nephew, Alexander de Gerasi, of course he's got some weird cryptic name, a position within a department when he was just out of college, and gave him special treatment. On his LinkedIn profile, which lists his role as Chief of Staff for the Office of the Assistant Secretary of State, Bureau of Near Eastern Affairs. That sounds like one of those fake jobs that, like, when I lived in Chicago and they were just guys on Chicago's so corrupt, they just ghost payroll. Like somebody's nephew would be like sanitation supervisor liaison to the trucks up the street. Visitation Bureau. Like, what? What's that guy's job?
Supplier of the liaison to the trainee of the desk sergeant.
Vice chair to the liaison. Like, it's just like, what? These fake titles. You and I should be giving each other fake titles. Like, I don't know. One of us has to be a liaison to something. I mean, right? An assistant.
Well, I'm chief liaison.
Chief liaison. Well, I'm assistant vice chair of the liaison bureau of the Western District.
And that's why you run the show.
I'm gonna get that on a business card. Just.
I want a business card where the end of the title has to fold out from the edge of the business card. Extra. It's like a pop-up business card.
And there's like you it's like those pop-up things where you move it and then it just shows like, oh, now I'm dedicated Far Eastern Affairs Consul General to the liaison of the Viceroy. Like, oh, I don't know what any of those things do, but they sound important. He also served as special assistant to the office of the Secretary of State from May 29 to 2011, his online profile says. And he worked on Hillary's campaign from 2007 to 2018, which is just fantastic.
I'd love to hear that phone call between her and Hillary Clinton. Like, hey, Hillary, I have a nephew looking for a job. And Hillary's like, who are you again? And she's like, oh, I helped fly your husband around the world so he could fuck a lot of 14-year-old girls. And Hillary's like, oh, right.
Oh, I remember you. Oh, that's right. We invited you to our daughter's wedding.
Yes. Now I remember. Yes. And I believe you left with 3 women in a van.
Yeah.
You grabbed three of the guests I'd never heard from again. Is that, can we get those back at some point?
You're the one who supplied the paper t-shirts to the New York prison system last summer. Okay, right. Right. And let us not forget that Epstein visited the White House during the Clinton administration. Which, as I said, Maxwell was in. And I just like showing. This is a photo from Ghislaine Maxwell at Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010. There's Bill, who was on 26 times. There's Chelsea. Isn't that
so?
fantastic?
This is, let's be clear, that photo is after Epstein was already convicted of pedophilia.
Yes. So he was convicted
2010.
Yeah. So this is 2010. So he was convicted in that trial in Florida started around 07, 08. He was convicted in 09.
So they called up Ghislaine Maxwell and they were like, you know what? Water under the bridge. Just come on by the wedding. Hang out with us.
And we're all supposed to believe, based on that, that whatever whitewash on Netflix, that the Clintons we didn't know. We just didn't. You didn't know.
How could we? How could we
possibly know when Acosta was told in 2009 to back off because Jeffrey Epstein was a CIA asset? How could we know?
Hillary Clinton's like, look, we didn't get Google till 2013.
I mean, we didn't get the security briefings for 8 years in the White House, and I didn't get them as a senator. I mean, we didn't know. We just
or maybe they were like, look, the entire wedding guest list is filled with people who have just killed mountains of children. So you having a sex plane is like nothing. You are literally the most moral person in the entire room. We feel a little uncomfortable inviting you because you're going to make everyone else feel bad as the moral person.
Yeah. All the people that like drink blood, and those folks, all the like Maria Ambrosovich types, they're going to be there. So you guys just got your little fun island. I don't know. They're going to feel like, oh, who are the goody two shoes over here? Yeah. And I also, this has no connection. This isn't a government secret at all. There's no weird connection between the Clinton Foundation and the fact that this guy worked on matters relating to democratization and civil society in the Arab world, Arab uprisings, Israeli-Palestinian peace. And he served the U.S. representative to the Friends of Libya conferences.
I was just going to, even before you said Friends of Libya, I was going to say that first title you gave is the like most obvious euphemism for fucking bloodbaths I've ever heard, like democratization and civil society or whatever.
Yeah, that just sounds like the Friends of Libya conferences too. Sounds like some sort of mob, like the Italian American Businessmen's Association. Business.
Listen, I want to be your friend. All right, I want to be your friend. I don't want to break your leg right now, but if you don't have us as your friends, I gotta break your leg.
I'd be a real shame if we weren't friends. If somebody broke into your business and it burned to the ground, that would be a real bad problem.
And then you can put a sticker on the front of your deli says "Friends of Gino." All right.
Everybody in town will know you're friends of Gino. Because if you're not, and I'm not around, it'd be a real shame if you ran into a couple of baseball bats right around kneecap level. You know what I mean? It'd be a real problem. But of course, the Clinton staffers listed in Epstein's book, including Cheryl Mills, Mark Middleton, and Doug Band. And of course, Virginia Roberts Jeffries said that Bill Clinton visited Epstein's Island in the Virgin Islands, and both Clintons visited his compound in New Mexico. And then he came there with two young girls from New York, of course. And then this is what Epstein said. I remember asking Jeffrey what Bill Clinton is doing there on the island. Jeffrey told an attorney, according to a transcript of their conversation, so sworn deposition. She said Epstein laughed off her question and replied, "Well, he owes me a favor. So it's all good. Nothing weird here at all."
My favorite ever quote from these people. The quotes from these people after you know what was going on is like, it's just, they're incredible. My favorite is the Trump quote where he's like, "Oh yeah, I love Jeffrey Epstein. Good friend of mine or whatever. He likes those young women, maybe even more than me. I like how he always has young women with him," or whatever. And you're like, dude.
I know. It's really like, and then he said, like, he said, I don't know. He literally last fall, Trump goes, "I don't know, Prince Andrew." And it was like, you were in Buckingham Palace in June. Like, there's photos of him on an official visit with shaking hands with the Queen and Prince Andrew. And there's all these photos of him and Prince Andrew and Epstein partying in the 80s and 90s. I don't know who the guy is. I've never met him. I have no earthly knowledge of who he is. And then
and before the case disappeared or whatever, I don't know if it was bought off or what, but the girl that accused Trump of rape, it was at an Epstein party,
right?
I think in the 90s maybe, but so she brought that case in New York, I believe, and then it never got to a judgment because something happened. She was maybe paid off or something.
Yeah, they couldn't track her down. They couldn't find her. It's sort of like, yep. So either they paid her off or
her forwarding address said dumpster behind Costco. So I don't know what that means, but
she was seen to be fitted with some very heavy cement style shoes that she was going to take on a vacation. And she wanted to see if they could help her walk on water. So that's what happened to her. So she's probably on just she's probably in an ashram right now, really finding herself. So it's
finding herself, really getting centered,
So that's my government secret.
Thank you. You got one week off from Epstein, and 2 weeks from now we'll come back. More Epstein. I want to. I don't know if I was going to do the historical government secret for this week, meaning not current but incredibly fascinating. And I'm wondering if do you know of I think you know about the first one, the missing verse, or the verse we don't sing of the Star Spangled Banner?
Oh God. No. What is this verse? Is it just like pledge allegiance to the Coca-Cola or something like that? What is
far worse than that. So, okay. So the national anthem, Star Spangled Banner, written by Francis Scott Key. Apparently, he was a real lover of slavery, and the lines that we don't sing in the national anthem that are written in his original draft: "No refuge could save the hiring and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave." Basically saying that if you're a slave and you escape to fight for the British, which would make sense, like if any of us are a slave somewhere and another force is coming to wage war with the force that imprisoned us, we probably would want to escape and be with that other force because they're offering to make us free. So whether you love America or not, you can understand where these slaves were coming from. And Francis Scott Key is basically saying, you guys are fucking dead. All right. We're going to fucking kill you because you left your enslavement to fight for the other side.
Wow.
And that's in our national anthem.
Oh my God. So another case to say there hasn't been systemic racism in this country since its inception, right? Is that what this is?
Yeah, and the systemic racism, and I'm going to get to one more hidden verse in a moment. But The other thing people don't consider about the systemic racism, the racism that is the foundation of America, is that part of the reason we are one of the world's most wealthy countries, perhaps the most wealthy country, is because during our building up, we were able to extract that wealth from stolen resources. Much of it in the early years being stolen people, in order to, like, you could have an entire plantation of tobacco and pay no one. And imagine the wealth that can be gained when you pay no workers. So that's part of what the foundation of our wealth. And then, of course, after slavery, we continued to steal resources from Africa and other countries and continue to this day. Just look at Syria, where we inked a deal with someone to, some probably rebels over there to steal their oil recently. But so we continue to steal our wealth, and it props us up and allows our empire. So it's not just that it was racist, which is fucked up. It's also that's where our wealth comes from. That's part of the reason we are the world's largest empire, is based on that slavery. So there's that. And then
footnote where our the blood that is on our hands is also laced with gold. It was all just for money. It's like, we need
a lot
resources.
of people don't know that is the great. Everybody's been looking for the ability to turn water into gold and everything for alchemy for hundreds of years. The true alchemy is turning blood to gold, is actually what we've been able to do.
And America's been doing it so well.
We do it well. All right. So have you heard of the song, "This Land is Your Land, This Land is My Land"?
Yes, but I bet you there's a verse that's horrific. Is that what's...
Yes, but the difference is it's not actually horrific. It's actually positive. But it was written by Woody Guthrie, right? In 1943. Oh, no, the photo's in 1943. He wrote it in 1940. And so written by Woody Guthrie, who is a real champion of the people, the workers, the unions, all that stuff. That's what he's known for. And so now this song, "This Land is Your Land," is held up. I mean, we're taught it in school at such a young age. And of course, we'll ignore the fact that it's incredibly offensive to Native American people, but because we're yeah, no, this is my land. Get the fuck off. But
yeah,
the verse, or actually two verses, we don't sing. Let's see. One was a high wall there that and I'm not going to sing it because everyone would turn off immediately. Was a high wall there that tried to stop me. A sign was painted, said private property, but on the backside, it didn't say nothing. This land was made for you and me. Basically criticizing the idea of private property and the idea that you could own parts of this country and deny anyone access, even to just walk through. So obviously that had to be cut out because that's anti-capitalist, that's we're buying up large swaths of this nation.
Wow. That's just man, of course they had to get rid of that.
I know.
They had to be oh, buddy, that's a little too everybody gets along for us.
Yeah. Another random fun fact. Ted Turner, right? The billionaire who created CNN.
Right.
Ted Turner, I believe, is still the largest landowner in America, owns land the size of Delaware.
Wow. And he's the guy that colorized black and white movies. That's also he's ruining black and white films.
So here's an even more controversial verse. This was the final verse that had to be cut out because it wouldn't do for an anthem to remind us how to be patriots. One bright sunny morning in the shadow of the steeple, by the relief office, which, back then was the name of the office where you'd go to get food stamps and stuff.
Right.
By the relief office, I saw my people as they stood hungry. I stood there wondering if this land was made for you and me.
Wow. Oh, that could incite riots. So you better cut that out of there.
Isn't that crazy? Like, just so incredible that it's like these things that we've been taught since we were children have these verses that just completely upend the meaning, or add ideas that are just too threatening to the ruling capitalist ideas.
Well, it proves in a very specific, about a specific song, a thing that a theme that you and I have talked about in the past, which is how art, in the 20s and 30s, and even in this song, was used was very political. Art was supposed to inspire, it was supposed to get people, it was supposed to inspire and rile people up. The theater of the 20s and 30s, the songs of the 20s and 30s, were much of it was like socialist, was pro-labor, was like anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
And as we have talked about just personally, but also on this show, how comedians like us are not rewarded. We don't get fancy Netflix specials. We don't get big sitcoms because this message is not good. Our message is not good for capitalism. And so you're rewarded the only political comedy you can do is if you like have a couple of Trump jokes, you make fun of his hair, whatever, like Stephen Colbert sold his soul, Bill Maher sold his soul. They all were like real political. They started and then they've all, and this is like,
or you end up in some freak accident where you have a TV show on the most suppressed network in America. But
yes, if you do get a TV show,
that's pretty unusual.
Yeah, you're just gonna be like, oh, here's your TV show, but we're gonna make your network seem like it's a Trojan horse of Putin's.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so like we can't, what they've done to you specifically, but to RT in general, when they pulled RT's press passes, like
yeah.
I mean, that's insane. Like
RT was the until I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, was the most watched foreign news outlet. Which in the U.S., which includes BBC and CBC and so many others. I mean, they were simply by being outside of that corporate box. People were flocking to it, and they realized they had to shut that down because you can't actually have freedom of ideas out there.
No, you can't. You can't have freedom of ideas. And there's like, and I want to I've shown this before, this propaganda multiplier. But it goes to exactly what we're talking about. So the White House, the CIA, and the Pentagon all give their marching orders to AP, AFP, and Reuters, who then filter it down to everybody. Fox News, NPR, BuzzFeed, whatever, USA Today, they all get fed that stuff. Yep. And the thing I always say, I would include then part of this is then the entertainment industry. It's like we've talked about this, like the Marvel movies, they're great fun to watch, but they have literally, CIA has script approval. And yeah. This has happened over decades because of like what they did to this land is our land song. They took those verses out that were like, hey man, why are you putting up signs? You look at the music, and I used to do a movie podcast, and I've watched a lot of movies. And the last time we had movies that were calling out the corruption of all this was really the 70s, when you had like 3 Days of the Condor, a very lesser known movie called The Parallax View.
Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now. The original Apocalypse Now is an anti-war movie. I mean, The Deer Hunter is an anti-war movie. I mean,
there were a lot back then, right?
All these anti-war movies, and there's some criticism of course, they depicted the Vietnamese as just like pajama terrorists or whatever, and that wasn't fair. But in terms of,
probably came from their own, rather than it coming from some on high, it probably came from their own cultural bias,
Right. It did come from their own cultural bias, which is not that it's right, but it's a little more understandable, I guess, versus someone on high said you can't do that. I mean, you've got the original Rollerball movie, which is like showing you they predicted our sports today, and that there's just corporations, there's not countries anymore. Or like
Full Metal Jacket
or Network. The movie Network
is I think pound for pound the best movie ever, one of the best movies ever made.
Watch it. It predicts, beat for beat, what's happening today in our media. And I mean, the scene where the like revolutionaries are arguing deal points.
Oh, that is honestly, when I think of that movie, which is one of the best movies ever made, I think of that scene as one of the best scenes ever made. Like I both fell on the floor laughing, and it says so much about where we stand. By the way, I got very lucky. I've never seen, because when I lived in New York, I lived in New York for 12 years. I was very poor for almost all of it, with the exception of a couple of years, but relatively poor. So I was not spending money on play tickets, because tickets in New York are crazy. Right. But someone gifted me tickets, I don't know, a year ago or something or less, to Network the Play starring Bryan Cranston in New York. And it was awesome.
I mean, all those movies shaped there's a great book out there called Easy Riders Raging Bulls, which talks about that era, which was the studio system had collapsed in the 60s, and in the 70s it was the Wild Wild West. So all these amazing movies got made, and then the corporations took over Hollywood in the 80s.
It was both. It was kind of two things. It was the Wild West, and also the young filmmakers, the guys doing something inventive and new, were like borderline hippies. I mean, they're not now. George Lucas is no hippie now, but at the time, it's like that was the culture. And that's also why the kind of deep state, the CIA, the military, realized that they needed to, get their hands on Hollywood and kind of, stop this kind of freedom of expression.
Yeah, I believe it was, what was it? It was either MK Ultra or Mockingbird. I think it was MK Ultra that was like really focused on this, like, we can't let this free thinking hippie ideology take over the mainstream Hollywood media, because they saw how powerful movies and TV shows were. And I mean, to that same angle, you had all these cop shows that I watched that largely showed the police as good guys. There'd be a couple of bad apples or whatever that helped shape the narrative. And so it's all these little things from pulling that lyric out in This Land Is Our Land to what, and they were like, we can't let this. And that's why now there's nothing that subversive that gets out. I mean, it's just rare. You have to dig for it. Like that documentary Out of Shadows, which is a really good documentary, remind people to watch. They had to release it for free on YouTube because no one was going to give them distribution. And I've gone through this myself as a filmmaker. You release a movie and you want to get, and it's all manufactured. Oh, this movie got a lot of buzz at the festivals and it won a bunch of awards. And oh my God, it's got an Oscar. They did that with Icarus. So Icarus was the one saying how Putin and the Soviets used steroids to cheat, which I have no doubt that they did, but we use steroids to cheat all the time. That one, It's not mysterious. It's not a coincidence that movie won.
Right. Like it doesn't necessarily mean that for some of these movies specifically, maybe more so than TV, it's not always that the actual story they're telling is a lie or propaganda. Now, I don't know. I think I did see Icarus, but I don't know whether some of it is exaggerated or not. I'm sure they used some doping, as did many athletes across many nations. But it's more like the time they chose to make this the movie that everyone needs to see. That's the propaganda. So another example of that I feel is Chernobyl is a great show. I mean, did you see it on HBO? Fucking great show. I mean, it's well made. It's well written. The acting is fucking incredible. And of what I know about the history, it's like a lot of it is legit. A lot of it is not incorrect. However, there are some slight things here and there that are kind of designed to be a little more propagandistic. And the fact that show was made by HBO and was a massive show that was pushed upon people as the show to go see, that has to do with the time we're in right now, where they were like, we need some anti-Soviet shit. Let's find the most awful thing that happened in the Soviet Union, and let's just make everybody remember that.
The reason, so that came out right at the time of Creed 2. Who was he fighting in Creed 2? Drago's son. Like they just brought back the same old criminals. And you know this, but many of our audience probably don't. What you're talking about, the censorship of what you're talking about. Yes, Chernobyl, well made. Icarus, well made movie. It's a very well made, probably fairly accurate And a good documentary, which is like a good documentary is like, that's where the investigative journalism is now. But who greenlit that? Why isn't some documentary about what's
happening? Why is it an Oscar winner?
Yeah, why is it an Oscar winner? How come we hear nothing about Yemen? How come Abby Martin's film Gaza Fights for Freedom? How come that did not? The festival shut it down. No, but how come HBO isn't buying that documentary? Like, it's very specific.
Yeah.
Who? That's how they censor. They'll put this one to the top. And just that's how they, as I showed in the propaganda multiplier, that's how they shape hearts and minds, like, oh, well, they cheated in the Olympics. And remember how bad Chernobyl was? And, oh, isn't it great that Creed's fighting remember how great the Rocky 3 was when he fought, like, it's just keeping who were the villains in season 3 of Stranger Things? The Russians.
Yeah. Stranger Things got into it. House of Cards got into it. And actually, because season 3 of House of Cards, it was like the president that he hates is, Vladimir Pushkin or something, it's like two letters off or whatever. And looks like Putin. And you're like, it's very similar, actually. House of Cards and Stranger Things are very similar in that they were brought forward as Netflix shows. And at that point, when they're first being brought forward, they actually have tons of freedom. So they write kind of just completely what they feel like writing. And House of Cards was based on the original House of Cards, so they were writing based on that. And then in that 3rd season or 4th season, the other forces, now that they are massive, now that they know like millions of Americans are watching this. This is one of the most watched and cared about things in American culture. Now is the time we need to get in there and make a point of inserting just enough propaganda that it influences people. And actually, I'm now remembering, I did a redacted segment on the 3rd season of House of Cards when it came out years ago, because I was a big House of Cards fan. I thought the show was excellent. And what it did that I was surprised at is it made our president and the guy under the president total sociopath, or a psychopath, like literally killing people and not caring. And I was like, this is legit. Like, they're not caving to the pressure to build up the American government as some kind of, perfect thing and all this shit. And then that 3rd season, the third way Democrats, which are the Democrats, it's a group of Democrats that have a lot of money, and they want the Democrats to be more right wing because that's been a real problem. And so the third way Democrats became producers on House of Cards.
Oh.
And in that 3rd season, it was like, not only are we going to make Russia the big evil bad guy, but we're going to try and make you go back to rooting for the American president against the big evil Russian.
Right. Yeah. It's like they're doing that all over the place. I mean, even just the HP, like, so a buddy of mine gave me his login information for one of the streaming services. I don't pay for any of them.
I love how you felt the need. You were like, what if people think I am rolling in the cash needed for streaming services? I better let them know I stole this like a good American.
Somebody's got $9 a month. They put the 2 of the 3 Christopher Nolan Batman movies. Now, maybe there's a rights issue that I don't know about, but I find it odd. I'm a huge fan of those movies. Batman Begins, great origin story. The Dark Knight is the Joker one, which is great. Heath Ledger's great in that. The third one, The Dark Knight Rises, is really the Occupy Wall Street movie. That's when it came out in 2012. And it's where they hijack Bane and the League of Shadows hijack the Gotham Stock Exchange.
Right.
And they're like, Anne Hathaway's Catwoman's like, you guys, it's all about the rich ruling class has taken away too much from people. And the League of Shadows is like coming to even the score. And it's like, I as a huge Batman fan, I'm like, I think Bane's right. I've watched that.
Yeah. But so was that propaganda to begin with, you think, where they were like, let's make the Occupy Wall Street ideals the bad guy of this film?
It very well could be. And Batman is like, I need to rise up and stop these people who really just wanted to eviscerate the ruling class. And it's like, it might
and eviscerate capitalism.
Yes, eviscerate capitalism. They're really done with capitalism and the broken lies of it. And I'm wondering if they're like, let's not put that one up now because too many people might start siding with Bane and the League of Shadows. So why is that? Why is this not on? It's not on HBO Go. The first two, but why would you have? And they have all the horrible Batman movies with Val Kilmer and all those awful ones.
Oh yeah,
but they don't have the third of the Nolan trilogy. I find that peculiar. Anyway. You got time for one more? Or are you done?
No, I got time.
All right. Government secrets segment 4.
Bonus content. I call this the boner.
Gov seeks boner, hard and firm. All right. I love going into the history books for some Gov seeks. And I found this one. I wasn't aware of this. I was aware that this happened, but I didn't know the exact name of it. Another great operation from our friends over at the CIA. And it sounds fun. Operation Bloodstone.
Oh, wow. I don't know that one.
It's the lesser known. It's more of the B-sides of the CIA's operations. Operation Bloodstone was a covert operation whereby the CIA sought out Nazis and collaborators living in Soviet-controlled areas to work undercover for U.S. intelligence inside the Soviet Union, Latin America, and Canada, as well as domestically within the United States.
Why specifically Nazis?
That's a great question. I think it was, well, here's what they said.
Were they just like, these guys are super efficient? Let's call up those guys.
Well, it's also like, I mean, this is the CIA is all about leverage. So it's like, hey, the whole world is hunting you down. We could give your name up to Mossad, or you could do this little thing for us.
Could be.
So Operation Bloodstone was proposed by the U.S. State Department. It was approved by the State Army, Navy, Air Force Commanding Committee, or SANAC. Jesus. On June 10, 1948, in the initial stages of the operation, a brief paper identified these anti-communist elements in non-Western Hemisphere countries outside of the Soviet orbit who had shown extreme fortitude in the face of the communist menace. So,
fortitude in the face of the communist menace? Is that the euphemism for killing Jews? Is that what just happened?
Yeah. Boy, those Nazis got great fortitude. You know, I mean, boy, the Khmer Rouge. When I think of fortitude, I think of the Khmer Rouge. I think of Idi Amin. Those guys all have fortitude.
Look at the fucking fortitude of these guys to just keep killing so many Jews.
Just so, I mean, look, they went to it. They thought it out. They got train cars. They got oven. They really just like, this is how, if you think America's the good guys and you think Joe Biden is somehow better than Trump, or you think Trump is better than Biden, just know that we live in a horrific country with a history of songs telling slaves not to join the Brits because we'll kill them. And, you know, that's what America really is. Here's what else they put. They also, these guys with fortitude were, quote, they have demonstrated the know-how to counter communist propaganda and techniques to obtain control of mass movements. So don't care that you were a Nazi and that you did horrific acts of genocide. You're good at fighting commies because commies are bad for business. That's literally was the thinking. How insane is that? That sounds crazy, right? This sounds like...
So they snuck up to them like in a cafe and they were like, hey, commie fighter. They just grabbed them all up. Yeah, no, I think the U.S. in World War II, when you really look at it, I think the ruling elite there was a lot about the Nazis they respected.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
They were ultimately forced to come into the war to save Britain, and because we got attacked and everything. But I think behind closed doors, they were like, these Nazis, they got some fortitude.
They got, guys, they got the fortitude to fight a communist. The communists that help us defeat the Nazis, the communists that lost 20 some million people.
Dude, that's one of those facts that somehow slipped through my fingers until I found out like a year ago. 20 million Russians killed fighting Nazis, and we lost something like 250,000. And yet we see
the specific numbers are America lost 419,000 people.
Okay, 419,000.
But 4,000 of them were Pearl Harbor. The rest of them were soldiers over there. But those 4,000, only a handful of them were civilians. So we didn't lose any civilians. The 20 million of Russia, it's about 3 or 4 million soldiers, military people, and then the rest were civilians. Just to give you some perspective on how awful it was.
Well, a lot of I know that they did get to the point where like it was just like anyone can grab a gun. So they're civilians trying to fight. Yeah.
Right. But there also was the Stalingrad blockade that starved people for a winter.
Yeah.
Like
and but like 20 they lose 20 million and we lose it was a half of a percent of our population back in that time.
Right.
And they lose 20 million, and yet we run around saying we won World War II, and I think the Russians did something too.
Right. Thanks for helping, but now you're the bad guy, and we're going to hire Nazis to infiltrate your countries.
Yeah.
Like how? It's so insane. I didn't know. I literally didn't know this till I visited Russia last year. A year ago, I went to Russia. And I asked, and I found all this out. I was like, what? They had female snipers. It was just like, I heard the bombing. And when I was in St. Petersburg, which was Stalingrad, they were like, it was horrific. Everybody had a story. It would literally be like, Lee, if it's like, oh, we would all have stories like, oh, I remember my grandmother telling me when they bombed Chicago, and she didn't have food for months. That's the stories that they all have.
The story would be like, my grandmother remembers when she was 7 years old and her dad pulled her aside and said, I'm headed out there. If I die, take care of your younger brother.
Yes.
And I was 7. Like crazy shit.
Yeah. It'd be like, I remember we had to go dig in the trash cans and we'd find a dead soldier. And if they had food rations in their pack, we would take that. And that's how we would survive. Like, it would be like horrific stories like that. Yep. And then the other thing, when I talk to people in Russia, I go, what's another thing? I go, you guys always say you won the Cold War. You didn't win the Cold War. We were done with communism and we got fed up with it. And internally said, we're done with this. You guys act like we did this. Like we were fed up internally. Like you take credit for ending.
Well, the Soviet Union collapsed and we put in a capitalist, Yeltsin, and
he's an alcoholic.
Well, listen, they all are. But yeah, we put in Yeltsin. We bragged about it on the cover of Time magazine or whatever. And yeah, it collapsed and became capitalism. So that we were done with the Cold War because it wasn't the Soviet Union anymore.
Right. But we take credit for that.
But now we're back. But now we're back into it.
Good. So that's Operation Bloodstone, which is the stepbrother, the lesser known of Operation Paperclip, which is where we took Nazi scientists and used them for our space program and whatever else. But Operation.
Listen, Nazis are really good to have in your back pocket when you need them.
They're very versatile. Like this, another thing, like there's no systemic racism in America. We hired Nazis. We fought them in a war. Like there's 400,000 dead Americans. Many of them were killed by Nazis, but hey, the smart ones.
This actually could be a whole other segment of government secrets, but the companies that continued to operate in Nazi Germany or worked with the Nazis, like IBM, did their systems or whatever. And then Fanta was a new name that Coca-Cola came up with so that they could basically keep operating in Nazi Germany because you couldn't, the sanctions and everything, you couldn't keep, exporting Coke products and things to Nazis to Germany. And so they were like, well, let's just keep selling soda. We'll just give it a new name, Fanta. So like the Fanta is basically the Nazi Coke.
Enjoy a grape flavored Nazi Coke, everybody. So yeah, that's it. Operation Bloodstone, with a fun title for starters, and something you didn't know, and a government secret that I just learned about, and hopefully you learned and our audience learned about it. So that's it for GovSeeks Ep 7. Put it in the books, Lee.
It's all done, man. It is done. And I thank you all for joining us. And I'm gonna head out while Graham keeps chatting with you.
Where can people find you online?
I've been doing a bunch of Moment of Clarity videos on various topics at youtube.com/Moment of Clarity. So everybody should head over to that channel later and check that out. And my website's leecamp.com. You should be able to find all the shit there.
Nice. And of course, GrahamElwood.com for all my stuff. I have the Vigilante Volume 2, The Dark Knight. I only made 50. They're numbered. They're collector's items. There's only about 20 left. I ship using the post office because I'm not a monster. And
how do you find one of those blue boxes? Do you chase them down the road as they load them onto tow trucks? Or
no, I just go to my local post office. I did it today. It's very easy to do. It's so easy to print. I print the labels at home. They have barcodes.
Wait, but I heard the post office, Fox News told me the post office doesn't work. And if you go there, you can't send things.
Yeah. And then right after that was an ad for FedEx. So yeah, so I ship exclusively using the post office, and I will till I'm dead or they close it down. So go to GrahamElwood.com, get all my merch. It's all on sale, and it all has free shipping.
Nice.
And like, share, and subscribe this at iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you're listening to Government Secrets. Subscribe, download, whatever the thing is, and share it on your social media.
You know what I do to ship my merch is I go to the public pool and I find some children and I tell them to go by their nearest public school and borrow some pencils that are public and write out the address and then send it in the post office.
That sounds like a great plan.
It's very public.
It's very, very public. Way to do that. Well, thank you, Lee. Government Secrets, episode 7.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Graham.
Bye-bye. All right, that was Government Secrets with Lee Camp. Let me answer the super chats. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, and subscribe. Boom, 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 boom. Hit the subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the subscribe button. Government Secrets, ladies and gentlemen. Government Secrets. It's a little bit funny. So we've got 247 likes, 231 watching. Outstanding. Aiden Daniel, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. A great way to support the show is do what Aiden's doing. Hit the dollar icon button right at the bottom of the super chat. You support the show so we can keep doing all this. Thank you for what you do, Graham. Your show gives me hope. You got it, Aiden. I love doing it, especially having Lee on the show. It makes me laugh every week. Sam Dean, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. A pair of undies with a side profile pic of T-Rump printed on them with a big fat neg of his would make a great chastity belt. Just saying. Yes, that would kill anybody's boner. Green Party 2020, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Right on. Boom, 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 boom. Vote for Greens on your local. Get your Greens on your city council. Get Greens on your school board. Get Greens on your state assemblies. Right? Get Greens on the local level. Get Indies and Greens and Movement for a People's Party on the local level. That's how we change that. The Democratic Party is no hope. Sam Dean, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Breaking. Postmaster General Louis DeJoy just sank herself at a hearing as he refused to give proof that his changes actually helped the United States Postal Service. Thoughts? Oh, I had a whole segment on that guy. I think I forgot to do it. Oh yeah. Did I do it yesterday? No, I forgot to do it. Oh God. I forgot to do it. Yep, I heard this whole segment on the postal on DeJoy's corruption, but I'll talk about it again on Monday. Yeah, DeJoy, Mnuchin got him in there, hired him to get him in there. DeJoy had somewhere in the neighborhood of $500,000 in investments in UPS, a competitor of the post office, and FedEx. So he was like, he'd never worked at the post office. Most postal generals started as mail carriers or something. He was like one of the only ones that's never worked at the post office. Yeah, he's corrupt as shit. And I hope because there's got to be even like Trump supporters who really depend upon the mail. I mean, the mail, it's called the Postal Service. It doesn't turn a profit. Well, first of all, it was doing great. And it was a threat to FedEx. This was in this article I'll do later, next week or whatever. It was a threat. It was cutting into FedEx's money went down because the post office was doing such a good job with their priority mail and any one side, if it fits, it ships. They have these priority mail boxes and bags that are flat. They're flat rate shipping. So whatever you can get in there ships. And it was like awesome. And they were kicking FedEx's ass. So FedEx make sure they had got a guy in there to kill the post office. They paid people like Pete Buttigieg. Both parties have been trying to kill the post office. The Republicans really like killing the post office, but the Democrats are okay with it in typical Democratic fashion. Matt S. Shave your knuckles for justice, Matt. One of the funniest Gov Seeks to date. Awesome stuff. Yeah, I laugh my ass off with Lee. I love doing this. It's a lot of fun. Thank you, Matt, for supporting the show. Everything Revolution. Graham, now is a good time to quickly read the 1979 short poem lyrics, Media Blitz by the Germs. Fits your talk. Peace, buddy. Ooh, listen to that. 255 likes. Make sure I got all of them here. Gina G, what's up, Gina? Shave your knuckles for justice. Imagine trying to pitch libraries nowadays. I know. Sirhan is a patsy. Absolutely. One of the early government seeks we did, Gov Seeks, episode 1 or 2 maybe, was the assassination of the cover up of the assassination of Bobby Kennedy. So check that up. Aileen Love, what's up? I do need new glasses. I hear you. Obama tried appointing a bunch of postmasters who wanted to privatize the post office. Bernie blocked them all, and then Blue MAGA harasses him for it. Of course, even if something is shipped to their state by FedEx or UPS, the post office takes it on the last couple legs of the journey. I know. Most of the Nazis went to South America. Now their kids have communities. Yep. Someone gives a thumbs down. That's all right. Yeah, new pics of Bill Clinton and Epstein girl on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. Yeah, I did a video on that yesterday, I believe. I think it already dropped. So what we do, if you're new to the live chat, what would I take those segments and then I cut them up and drop them in the day or two following. And then Government Secrets full audio podcast will drop on Monday, and the full video will drop on Monday as well. And I'll spread out the clips of this things Lee and I talked about over the weekend. A lot of rural places are very pro-Trump. They are heavily dependent on the post office. Yep. Yes, they are. I saw the RFK talk you did with Lee. I would love to see more. Have you ever read James Elroy, American Tabloid? And the next 3 books are very interesting and talk about JFK, RFK, and assassinations. Oh, wow. Yeah, I hate Trump too. Libraries were actually pushed heavily by rich oligarch Andrew Carnegie, who was poor as a kid and wanted more people to read. It wasn't all altruistic by our government. No, I know but it was a good thing for society. And it was, I mean, they were doing it to put their names on things and tax breaks and stuff like that. But actually, yeah. Evie, shave your knuckles for justice. I saw the RFK talk you did with Lee. I would love to see more. Have you ever read James Ellroy, American Tabloid, and the next 3 books are very interesting. Talk about JFK and RFK assassinations. I have not read those books, but I would like to. And it's fascinating. You know, when I did the RFK talk, when I went into the researching that for this show, and when Lee talked about the MLK cover-up, the MLK assassination cover-up, I was like, wow, it's so intriguing. That's why I love doing government secrets, because I learn so much from Lee and from doing my own research for my segments. It's really cool. And then you guys join in with stuff. It's really, it's great. It's great. Evie. Truth to tweet. What's up? Annabelle Corley. Hello. Maggie Craggy. What's up? I saw Biden's speech. He needs to fire his acting coach. Right. I imagine Graham riding his bike to the post office and ringing his bell. I don't have a bell on my bike, but I rode my bike to the post office today. I absolutely did. I ride my bike to the post office every day. Ding, ding. Hi, dropping off some tea. RFK got 2 bullets point blank in the back of his head when Sirhan was across the room. Ooh, wow. Steve Bannon stole money from Trump supporters. I know. Isn't it great? Isn't it great? That kind of made me laugh. I was like, oh, thoughts and prayers, man. You donated to that dumb wall? Thoughts and prayers. Graham, do you have a Batman backpack to go with your bike? No, I don't. If I could find one, I would. But thank you, Backyard Politics. Check out her show, everybody. Thoughts and prayers, prayers and thoughts. Did you put playing cards in your bike spokes when you were a kid? Yes, I did. I haven't done that as an adult, but I did as a kid for sure. And I had a thing on my, I had it all. I had it all, man. I had a Schwinn. I had it all. Live by the wall, die by the wall. That's funny. Trumpsters really paid a guy $2 million to build a wall. I know. I used to have a Superman lunchbox in 1978 when the movie came out. $6 million. I do have a Batman lunchbox. It's like a cool, I'll show it to you. I like take it to the beach. My nieces and nephews got this to me. And you put it in there, and then you put your little snacks, and you put a gel pack cooler thing zipped up. I've had it for a long time. You ever see this on a towel, on a Hawaii towel in Santa Monica? I'm probably out surfing. I'm close by riding a wave. Don't forget, folks, Vigilante, The Dark Knight, Volume 2. And then on the back, it has a number. So it says, a number of 50. Darkness pierced by flashes of blue and red. It's 4.5 ounces, $20, free shipping. And you can bundle it with one of my DVDs for an extra $5. You can get this and Live from Afghanistan for $25, or this and earbuds for $25, or this and a Political Vigilante shirt for $10. So $30 total. So I put everything on sale, folks. Everything must go. I'm clearing out the store, and there's only about 20 of these left. So hurry up, because they're going to be gone in like a week. Get them now. You support the show. It's awesome. It's great. I love loose leaf tea. It's got a little caffeine in it. Black tea's got a little more The first round was green tea, which I love, but this and you know what this is really good for, because it's got some fruit flavors in it, because it's the summer and it's hot. Make this, brew it the way you would do regular tea, and then put it in a big pitcher and then put it in the fridge, and it's fucking great iced tea. It's great in the summer when it's hot. Brew a nice pot of hot tea and then just put it in the fridge. It is great iced tea. So go to graham.com to support the store. It's a little bit funny. All right. Ocean Man. Did you have a bike basket? I did not have a bike basket. San Diego Padres make history. 4 Grand Slams in 4 days. That's awesome. Man, I miss going to baseball games at the summertime. I'm watching baseball. It's cool. But like, I'm a Cubs fan, but even the Padres, like my buddy who lives down there, we'd go surfing and then we go to a Padres game. We do that like every year. I love Petco. It's a fun stay. I love San Diego. Man, I miss all that shit. I'm glad baseball's on though. Graham, what do you put in my lunchbox? What do you put in your, what do you put in my, sorry, excuse me. I'll make a gluten-free, a sandwich with gluten-free bread and vegan meat and cheese with like a spiced mustard, like a chipotle mustard, maybe an organic apple, and then a can of like some kind of fruit flavored sparkling water. Put a gel pack over it, stays cold on the beach for hours. It's fantastic. I can't understand why libraries aren't open. Bars, yes. Maybe we learn too much. Yeah, we can't have that. Why are you a fan of the WNBA instead of NBA? I still watch the NBA. It's okay. I just like the W more. What I specifically like about the WNBA is John Wooden said this. It's the purest form of basketball, the women's game. They play pure basketball because everyone in the league can't just like slam dunk all the time. People go, oh, there's not as much slam dunks in the W. I'm like, oh, it's real basketball. It's pick and rolls. It's screens. It's beautiful basketball. The passing is great. And look, before the shutdown, you know, my season tickets were about 10 rows off the floor for $30. I went to a WNBA finals game for $25. They're fun. The tickets are, and that's LA tickets. So if you live in a smaller market and you have a WNBA team, you can sit really close for $15-20, very affordable. It's exciting. And I like support. I'm an independent, you know, I don't have a big network TV show. I'm not a big, so I like supporting the smaller leagues, I like supporting small businesses. I like supporting, they got big corporate sponsors, but they don't make the money of the NBA. The NBA's got plenty of money. The NBA doesn't need my money. I like supporting the W, man. So it's good basketball, and I can be a season ticket holder for nothing, for like $500 for a season. And they do all these cool upgrades and like all this cool, man. I sat courtside a couple of times. Like, and then as a guy, there's never a line in the men's room. Like, that's a little side perk. There's middle of halftime, never a line in the men's room. Never. This is mostly women at those games, which is fine. It's great. That's the other thing. There's not drunk dudes going, focus. There's like these nice lesbian couples drinking tea. It's like, really, it's good basketball, man. It's just, I love that's what I love about the W. Evie, shave your knuckles for justice. James Elroy pushes how the CIA killed the Kennedys and MLK, corrupt cops, etc. I'm wearing my PVT in Melbourne today. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, that tour was so great. That was like such a cool culmination of everything Ron and I had done. It was our first international tour of the Progressive Comedy Tour. We had great turnouts in every city, but especially like Melbourne kicked off the tour as a sold out. It was so awesome. It was so awesome. And meeting all of you and getting to go like, to Adelaide. I haven't been there in forever and saw my friends in Adelaide and met, Professor Stephen Hale and, or what were they? Stephen, I forget. I always get the professor thing mixed up in Australia. But anyway, the MMT guy was just great. The show in Sydney was awesome. My friend Alice Fraser performed with us in Sydney. I met the People for Assange group in Sydney, which was awesome. We did a matinee, which we had never done, and we sold we were like, we could do more matinees. And then Perth was great. I'd never been to Perth. I'd never been to I'd been to Western Australia once to shoot earbuds. We shot some stuff in Newman, Arizona. We interviewed a miner in Newman, Arizona, or Newman, Australia, in the middle of nowhere, which was fantastic. So I got to see my friend Will Anderson. I got to see and do his podcast. I just love Australia, and it was such a cool tour. And Ron and I were like, this is so awesome. And having a couple extra days in Perth and surfing, and was just like fell in love with Western Australia and all that. So I still want to move there whenever they open it. So yeah, I love Australia. And it was so rad. So thank you for telling me that you're wearing the shirt. When am I coming to Oregon? Oh God. Oh, Nikki, that's like, thank you, Maggie Craggy. We were supposed to go to Oregon in April. We were going to go Portland and Seattle. And literally, Ron, I was budgeting. I was hiring a couple of camera guys. We were going to shoot in, I believe, Seattle. We were going to shoot our special. Ron and I were each going to do our 45-minute sets and release them as separate specials and albums and all that stuff. And then release it on Rock. We were going to do all this cool stuff on Rock. And it was like, we had this priced out, man. We had this priced out. And so and we hadn't done Portland and Seattle yet as a Progressive Comedy Tour. We'd done Northern California. We were so far. I don't know. Next summer, hopefully everything opens up and we're going to go on tour. So next summer is the plan, provided, knock on wood, there's a treatment or a vaccine or something, and society opens up. And the plan is to take 5 weeks and hit every city, like literally start like in San Diego, go through Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, New Orleans, wherever, Arkansas, the Pensacola, down into Florida, up the East Coast, through the Midwest, everything through the Midwest, all the cities we were going to hit that got canceled, cities we've already done that new cities and cities we were planning on doing. Any city that got canceled, we will do that city. And then the plan, hit the Midwest and then drive down into Denver, and then hit like Boise, and then maybe Spokane, Seattle, Portland. Like next summer is the best I can tell you. That's the plan. It kills me not being on the road, man. It just, oh. Graham, you are the best. Lovely too, especially his bit about various leaders getting whisked away. Yeah, it's fun. God, Lee just makes me laugh my ass off. I had ticks and was heartbroken at the cancellation. I know, Backyard. I know. I did this show last Saturday at a drive-in movie theater in Thousand Oaks. This comic friend of mine, Jason Love, sets these show up, and they had an inflatable screen where they do like drive-in movies, and so they broadcast the movie through your car's radio, and they did that for stand-up comedy. And it was like, I got off stage and I was like crying at how I was like, oh my God, I heard laughs. People would honk. I put it on my Instagram page. I mean, it was like there was so many things about that show that I had forgotten that I missed about stand-up. Getting dressed up and getting in my car and driving to a gig on a Saturday night. I was like, oh, hanging out with the other comics. We all have masks and we're standing outside, but hanging out with the other comics, joking around before the show. I was like, God, I missed that. Watching each other's acts going, oh, that's a great joke. Dude, that's awesome. Love that joke. When they get off stage, oh man, that one bit, you did this. Or like, we'll help each other. Like, oh, you should add this tagline to that. Like that stuff. And then standing on stage, holding a microphone. Like it's like, I miss that so much. Like I've been performing since I was 18. And the Zoom shows that we do that you all come to are fantastic. And I love them and I appreciate it. Oh, like, and they mic'd the first row of cars and people rolled down their windows. And so they mic'd them so we could hear a little laughter. I mean, the honking was kind of funny, like they'd honk at laughter, but you heard a little laughter. And the first time I heard that laughter, and one of the comics ahead of me got off stage, my buddy Flip Schultz, he goes, Graham, I could hear some of the laughter. And I was like, oh. And people laughed and you heard applause and you made people laugh and they got so much out of it because everyone's stuck in their homes. And then us comics, we just sat and talked for like a half an hour where they're like tearing down the stage and the screen and everything because we didn't want to go home. So I'm going to try to set up some of these. But I miss performing so much. I miss performing in front of a live audience so much. I've never gone this long without doing a live show in front of it. Like the Zoom shows run. We're going to keep doing them. They're great. We get to hear laughter and it's cool. But you know, I mean, you've been to a live show. You know what it's like from the audience. Hearing a whole room full of people, you're all laughing at the same thing, especially like a Jimmy Dore show or a progressive comedy tour show where it's like, we all feel like such outsiders as progressives because the Vote Any Blue Will Do crowd and the Trumpers will make us feel crazy. And then you're in a room full, everyone agrees. Everyone in this room agrees that Biden sucks. Oh, fuck. This is awesome. Like, oh. Anyway. Annabelle Corley, shave your knuckles for justice. You had me at Chipotle. Good. We'll be back on the show. The human touch, absolutely. Graham, have you thought about doing your act in front of cardboard cutouts? I don't know if that would work. There's thousands of stage music comedy performers thinking same as you, Graham. Feel for you. Thank you, Sailor Man. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're all freaked out. I know it sucks. Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. You talking about the ghost from Pac-Man? This show is live. No, it is live and it's great. And I love doing it. And it's one of the reasons I went, look, before the lockdown, I was doing this 2 days a week. And now I'm doing it 5 days a week, 4 on YouTube and 1 Monday nights on Rockfin. And this is great. And having you react, but even like, it's why having Lee, just he and I making each other laugh. I appreciate this show. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate everybody coming to the Zoom shows, and we're all struggling. We're all going through stuff. But as a performer, man, standing on stage, making a room full of people laugh, something I've done my entire adult life, it's hard not doing that. And then especially this last 3 years of doing this show, doing Jimmy's show live is unbelievable. Doing that show live is unbelievable how awesome that is. And like the last show Ron and I did February 29th in San Francisco was just like awesome. And Shahid Buttar was there. And the activists come out and meeting you guys, and you're like, oh, hey, it's so fucking rad. And you'll come up and go, oh, I'm so and so from the chat. I'm like, oh, rad, Anyway. Melissa H, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice, going to have lots of material by the time we see you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be fun. When that tour actually does happen, it's going to be awesome. Like, we'll all be so fired up because things will be open. We'll all feel safe to be out. There'll be a treatment or a therapy, whatever, or a vaccine, whatever. We'll all feel safe to be like, we're doing this. And it'll just be explosive. I just can't wait. And yes, I live alone, and it makes it really harder. It will be worth the wait. Bethany Hunt, what's up? Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Here's a few bucks from Australia. Just look forward to when you can hit the stage again. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the lockdown has been, Ron was saying the lockdown's been, yeah. Alone here too. Not easy. It will happen again. I know it's hard, but you will be back performing, put smiles on people's faces. Yeah, it'll be great. And the other thing, there's so many, like the standing on stage, making a room, especially like landing some awesome joke, making fun of progressives or whatever, or making fun of neoliberals or whatever, that laughter. And then like the hanging out after, like I've done, like when we were in Australia, we went out with Caitlin Johnstone, we're out like hanging out with Caitlin Johnstone and her husband, and like Annabelle and some others were there. It was just like fucking, it was so rad. Like meeting Caitlin Johnstone, like all of it, man. Thanks for supporting the show, everybody. Matt S, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. I actually became a big fan before I got to see you live, so I'm super pumped when you tour again, man. But yeah, that's the cool thing too. Do I ever have convos with my plant? A little bit, truth to tweet. Thank you. Graham, it's on. We were sheepalized, went backstage to a Coldplay show. It was like a Cracker Jack prize. We love comedy, 100% respect. Yeah. And what Matt S is talking about, that's the other thing too. Some of you have seen me do comedy first, and that's how you followed the show. But what's really cool too is all of you who've only seen me here doing this, or maybe on Jimmy's show, and doing stand-up that's my skill, man. That's like what I do, and I'm pretty decent at it, and I love it. I love it. And so all of you who are like, God, I love you. I watch your YouTube stuff for the politics and the joking around, but this was all like, it's so great, dude. Oh my God. A little bit good. The time is right for outdoor comedy venues. Who wants to invest in opening a Mirth Meadow? Ooh, that's a good idea. I got to see Ron when he came to Indianapolis. Wish I could see you too. Yes. And all those cities, like Ron and I, we were going to do Cleveland, Detroit, and Indianapolis. That got scrapped. But we're going to hit those cities. I'm telling you, Ron had this brilliant idea in June when we were like, all right, let's just cancel all the tour dates. Ron goes, Graham, we can go out like a band. Rather than go out once a month is what Ron and I were doing. We just hit a region for the month. Like we were going to go Portland, Seattle this month. And then we're going to do Florida. Then we're going to do, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Detroit. We're going to just rent a van and just drive all around like a band does. They just hit we're going to hit the whole country in like 5-6 weeks, man. Take a couple days off, see a baseball game, maybe hit a beach or two in Florida, whatever. But boom, boom, we're going to do it. In my opinion, it doesn't matter if it's music, comedy, or scientific presentation. There's something about the human factor that cannot be replaced by online presentations. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. There's something about a shared hearing everybody laugh together. First, there's the buzz in the room before like a Jimmy Dore progressive show. Everybody's like, oh shit. You know, and some people would like meet each other, go, and like, I remember at the Jimmy Dore show in Chicago, Snork Y2K, who I've had on the show numerous times, people recognized him. They're like, you're Snork Y2K. And that was cool for him. That was cool for and when you guys meet each other, you're like, oh, you're backyard politics, you're truth or tweet, you're mad at, like when you guys meet each other in person, it's really cool to be like, oh, this community that we've all helped build, So that's cool. And then like you say, like everybody laughing together, like I miss movie theaters. And I would always go at off-peak times during the day when no one was there, but even just sporting events, all of it, man. Yeah. Corn imperialism continues. Yeah, it's nice to see fellow progressives. Graham, only disappointing thing when you tour again will be that we still probably won't be able to hug you. Yeah, you never know. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not. Vegan guns now. Boom. Boom. Look at them. Look at them. Yeah, just wait till you see these in person. Go. A lot of live shows happen outdoors here in Florida in the fall and winter dry season. No reason why you couldn't do some of those. All right. All right, folks, let's sing a song. I got to run. I'm hungry. Graham's late Sunday night movie reviews was fun. Electric car recharging. Oh, I know. I know. I would like go see a movie and then come back and talk about my car or whatever. It was fun. What's my exercise routine? Well, today, like 3 days a week, I try to do yoga. I did a 1 hour vinyasa level 2, 3, kind of an advanced class today. So like today I did an hour of yoga. I did a little bike ride. I went to the post office and the store and then came home and did an hour yoga class. Yesterday I went on like a 40-minute bike ride. And so like today is like a strength building day, I call it. So I do yoga and then I add like some pull-ups. I have a pull-up bar in my doorway and I have resistance bands. So like I do just various, like I'll do press, I'll change the grip on the pull-up bar, I'll do some curls. And then, maybe 2-3 days a week I surf too. Like I might surf tonight. It's so hot here. And my apartment's hot. It's only about 2 weeks of the year where the beach is really hot, and this is one of them. So yeah. Resistance bands are sweet. You can travel with them. Be great to do an outdoor comedy show at a drive-in. Yes. Those car charging streams. Yeah, those were fun, man. All right, folks. All right. Annabelle Corley, what's up, Annabelle? Shave your knuckles for justice. Melbourne show was so great. Packed house. The crowd was totally with you. The connection made that night is everlasting. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. Oh, free fall, and I'll do that. That's the other thing too. Everybody connecting and laughing and then talking after the show, the buzz in the room after the show, the meet and greet where we're meeting people and taking photos with everybody and laughing and all that stuff is it's just such a rad vibe. It's such a rad vibe. So yeah, it's so cool. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. Granny Petrol singing Surfing USA. All right. Granny Petrol. Well, here are the choices. Shatner doing Free Falling, or Eddie Vedder doing Free Falling, or Granny Petrol doing Surfing USA. Vote. Let's get a vote going right now. Bikram yoga. I have done Bikram. Will you be part of the People's Party's celebration? I don't know. I'd love to be. They haven't asked me. I love moving for a People's Party, and if they don't, I won't be offended or anything like that. I know they got a lot of bigger names doing it, but I'm down with movement for sure. Granny Petrol. I think Graham is batting for the other team. RE Babies. I don't know what that means. Eddie Vedder, Shatner. They all sound good. Labama. All of them. Shatner doing surfing. I think let's see. Granny gets my vote. Shatner, Granny Petrol. Shatner, Granny doing surfing. Shatner doing surfing. Granny, Eddie Vedder. So Eddie's definitely third place. Granny. As a member of the audience, it feels like being with old friends at your live shows. Yeah, because you all know each other from the chat and you know each other online. Like it is, you all know each other. I think Granny Petrol wins. Yeah, it looks like Granny Petrol wins. All right, there's a lot of grannies. All right, Granny singing Surfing USA. I'll be right back. We're going to go get Granny Petrol. She's going to sing Surfing USA. In the meantime, why don't you go to grahamelwood.com and buy some Vigilante? Hello. Hello, it's Granny Petrol. Just having a little swig of some grade A oil. Keep the motor running, if you know what I mean. That's good oil. Hello, well, we want to go surfing, I believe. All right. Let's get that song going. Looks like that hooligan Graham didn't get it all queued up the way he should have. Maybe he's too busy going to Greta's Twitter page, doing insane things. All right. Here we go, ladies.
Writing's not that
I don't want to
easy.
listen to these people talk about their products and the like. It scratches my ears. Unless they're talking about the benefits of oil and little coal companies that are just trying to do good in this world by giving children jobs and a sense of responsibility. Greta doesn't want that. Well, I'm going to do this song. because I like it. Everybody had an ocean across the USA. Then everybody'd be surfing like California. Oh, in my face. They'd be wearing their baggies, Huarache sandals too. Bushy, blonde, gray-haired, surfing USA. Caught him surfing at Delmar, Ventura County line. Santa Cruz and Trestles, Australia's Narrabeen. All over Manhattan and down to Heaney Way. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA. Bill planning out a route like a pipeline we're gonna take real soon. We're waxing down our surfboards with oil for June. Or I'll be gone for the summer. We're on safari to stay. Tell Greta we're surfing, surfing oil away. Near the Haggertys and Swamis, Pacific Palisades, San Onofre and Sunset. We're down to Beach LA, all great places for piping. All over La Jolla and Waimea Bay. Everybody's gone surfing, Greta, not angry, protesting school. Surfing USA. Not hanging out in a boat, being mad at adults. Having fun on the beach, making an oil party. Dancing, having fun. Look, Greta, we're smiling. We're not mad. Setting up an oil fire. Surfing USA. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA. That's right, Greta. We're going to surf and have fun while you skip school and are angry. Learn how to smile. Also works as a cough syrup. Well, I'll be gone for the summer. We're on safari to stay. Serving USA. Well, I'll be gone for the summer. We're on safari to stay. There we go. Sorry. We're all be gone for the summer. That's any better. We're on safari to stay. That's why we're surfing inside, outside, just like Jeremy. Jeremy went surfing USA. Those Klingon bastards don't surf. They. Sorry. Shatner next time. You got it. Is your favorite basketball move the granny shot? I want Graham to interview Greta. So do I. Make it rain, y'all. Oh, okay. Well, there might be a super chat that I missed. Dan L. Values, shave your knuckles for justice, Dan. Very much appreciate it. Very much appreciate it. Andrew Dwyer, shave your knuckles for justice, Dan. So sad I missed the stream, but we'll support. Also, will you be at People's Party Convention? It's going to be, is it going to be a physical space or Zoom? I believe it's a Zoom thing. I've not been invited yet. but all good, man. I would love to go. I support them either way. I know Jimmy's going to be there. So I think it's all virtual, I believe. So love the People's Party. Love what they do. Love what they do. Well, I'm gone for the summer. That's like every Beach Boy song. I know we haven't seen Shimshay in a while. Thank you so much, Granny. That sexy mix. I got whiskey and a t-shirt and my old suitcase. I gotta get in my pickup, getting it out of this place. I had breakup cliches and country music stuff. That's why I can't get out of this rut. Her whiskey, her hand, a t-shirt. That's the thing. All the songs that Ron's written, Whiskey and a T-shirt, the Granny Petrol song, Shimshay, that's all going to happen at the live show when we go back on tour next summer. All right, I got to go. I'm starving. Thank you so much, folks. Over 300 likes, 345 likes. We had a great show. Thank you for supporting the show. Everybody that gave into the super chat, very much appreciated. Other ways to support the show, go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. So if you missed this live stream, the video will go up later today at the $10 level. The audio will go up at the $5 level. And if you're a Rockfin premium subscriber, you get the audio. I can't put the video up from these live streams on Rockfin because it's too big of a file. Rockfin's a smaller platform. But I do a live stream for members on Monday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific. Graham's Late Night Crypto Lounge, Monday nights on Rockfin. Rockfin is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. For $10, you get all of their bonus content. All of it. For every content creator. So thank you so much for supporting the show. You're all making Gotham great again. You're all political vigilantes. You're all helping in any way, any little thing you're doing. There's so many ways to help, and so many of you are doing it. So keep fighting, keep kicking ass, because we all know this. It's gonna be change is gonna happen outside of electoral politics. So shave your knuckles for justice.